Hey guys, Mr. Graves here. This is the second video. I'm going to be talking about different types of transformations. Um, so as you can see, I already have the first one uploaded, and I'm going to denote it in the transformation in red. So here we're talking about a reflection across the x-axis. So when I say reflection across the x-axis, I'm going to highlight it in red. Here's the x-axis, right? And this figure we're talking about, this is the old and this is the new. You can tell which one is the new, which one's the old, because the old is just going to have, there's going to be nothing, there's no asterisk in front of it. So for instance, we have a triangle. Let me use a different one. The old is this triangle, ABN. ABN. And we have the new triangle over here is A prime, B prime, and N prime. So that's the new and that's the old, and that's for when it reflects across the x-axis. So think of a reflection as a flip. Reflection equals a flip, okay? Now we're gonna do a different color for a translation. So when I say it's a translation, I am essentially referring to something I call a slide. So I'm sliding one figure across the other way, another. So let me show you what I mean. So this one here in the black is the old, and this is the new. And it says it translated 4 units. In fact, let me actually write it up here in purple. Translated 4 units right. So that means whatever my X numbers was, I added 4 to it. And they also said we went 4 units up. So whatever my Y values are, I'm going to add 4 to them, correct? So I'm going to have to slide this over. There we go. So what do I mean by that? So here are the coordinates of the old, right? So the coordinates for the old, where you have 3 letters, J, U, S, and N. And J was, let me make sure I'm right, it was -3, -1. Then it was U was 0, -1. S is -4, -4, I believe. Yeah, -1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. And N was 0, 4 as well. Now, because the X number is going to have to be 4, I'm going to be adding 4 to all the X numbers. So I'm going to have new coordinates for J, for U, for S, and for N. So in the case of J, if I add -3 to that, my new J is going to be a +1. And because actually, let me define the X numbers. So 0 plus 3 plus 4 is going to be 4. S is -4 plus 4, which is 0. And the new N is also going to be 0 plus 4, which is 4. And then for my Y numbers, I'm going to be adding 4 to those as well. So this is going to be 3. -1 plus 4 is 3. -1 plus 4 is also 3 here. 0 plus -4 is still -4. No, actually, no, scratch that. If I went 0 plus 4, that's so -4 plus 4 is 0. So I should scratch this and put a 0. I'm sorry about that. That's 0. Perfect. And the last one, -4 plus 4 is also 0. So if you look carefully at my new points, when I added I have my set of my points for my new guy right here. And that's what translates to my figure. So the transformation was I went 4 units to the right, then 4 units up. Now I'm going to talk about reflection over the y-axis. Remember, just like how a translation is a slide, a reflection is going to be a flip. So let me go ahead and pick a different color for that one. We are reflecting across the y-axis, right? So remember, when I reflect across the y-axis, I'm essentially doing a flip, right? So remember, my ode, the ordered pairs for my ode one here is C, which is 1 4. 1 2, yeah, 1 4. L is 1 1, and U is sure, right, 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, 5 1 2 3 4. Yeah, 5 4. Now remember, when I reflect across the y-axis, I flip it. So essentially, I'm going to keep y. And I'm going to change x. So when I say change x, I'm just going to change the values, the symbols of the x numbers. So when I do that, I'm going to have my new set of points. So I'm going to have a new C, a new L, and a new U. So when I change my x, I'm going to go from positive 1 4 to negative 1 comma 4. Then for my L, I'm going to go from 1 1 to negative 1 comma 1. Oops. And then U is going to go from positive 5 to negative 5 comma 4. So that's why I go from basically, because I reflect over x, and go from positive x to negative x. If you look at number 1, I was essentially doing the same thing too. Well, not the same thing exactly, but I was reflecting over the x-axis. So I was keeping, oops, it should have been red. There we go. So I would have kept x, change y for when I reflected across the x-axis. So I'm going to essentially have, I wonder if I have enough space. Yeah, I can do it up here. So my old points were A, which was 4, negative 4. So that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 4, negative 4. B was negative 5, negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And then the N, the last N, was 5, negative 5, negative 4. Playing terrible music in the background again. Oh. And then when I change it, remember, I'm going to have my new set of points up here. New A number. Remember, every time I have a new number, I would put a little apostrophe there. So I'm going to keep X, but I'm going to change Y. Change the sign of the Y number. So I'm going to have 4, 4. I'm going to have negative 5, positive 5. And then my new N is going to be negative 5, positive 4. So I go from there to here. Just like on the other one, number 3, I went from here to here. Okay. No, you stranded. Never left me empty-handed. This song is so depressing. Anyways, on number 4, you have to do a rotation, right? 180. So when you rotate 180, basically, you change the sign of X and Y. Okay, so what does that mean? So let's go over here. I'm going to have my old values, my old X and Y values of I think it's V, I, and R. V is 1, 1. I is 1, 4. And R is 4, 5. And then when I change it, I'm going to have my new values. So remember, I changed the sign of X and Y. So I have a new V, a new I, and a new R. So if I change the sign of the V, I'm going to have -1, -1, -1, comma, -4, and then -4, -5. That's what I'm going to have for the new value. So basically, I reflect over 190. Remember, each rotation is going to be 90 degrees, right? So if I rotate here from quadrant, remember this quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm going from 1 to 3, right? So I'm going to be rotating 90 here, plus another 90, right? So 90 plus 90 is indeed 180. So just know when you rotate 180 degrees, you're changing the sign of the X and Y. That's how I go from 1 to 4. Now to go to a different assignment here. I'm just gonna do these because it's pretty self-explanatory. See, translate 3 units to the right. So 3 right means I add 3 to the X numbers. I'm gonna go 3 down. That means I have to subtract every 3 number. I have to subtract 3 from every Y number, correct? So essentially, my T, I have to go to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4. I go from there to there. That's pretty simple, right? Then for the C, I go down left 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3 down. That's gotta go from there to there. And then W, same thing. Go to the left, to the right, 1, 2, 3, then down 1, 2, 3. Simple there. I'm gonna do another example on this second page because all they have on the second page are translations. So different color to illustrate. So for number 8, I have 4 units left. So I'm going to do X minus 4 because it's left 4 and 1 up. So then Y plus 1. Going to go ahead and label them my old points are F, S, P, and H. So F is 1, -2. Sorry, that looks ugly. There we go, much better. S is 1, -3. P is 5, -5. And H is 3, -1. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my new transformations. So I'm going to have a new F, a new S, a new P, and a new H. That's why I have apostrophes there. So for the first X, I'm going to have to subtract 1 from it. So 1 minus 4 is -3. Oops. Then my new S is going to be again 1 minus 4. That's going to be -3. My new X is 5 minus 4, which is 1. And my new H is 3 minus 4, which is -1. Then my new X is -2 plus 1 is -1. S, -3 plus 4 is, -3 plus 1 is -2. And not H, P is -5 plus 1 is -4. And then -1 plus 1 is 0. Yep. And that matches up perfectly with what we have on number 8. So again, if you can add and subtract positive and negative and numbers and integers, you should be good to go on this second page. Then the last page here, we're going to talk about different rotations here. Again, this video is all about types of transformations. So if I go here, and if I'm rotating, we already did 180 already. Let me talk about rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise, right? So if it's 90 degree clockwise, I believe you're gonna have to clockwise, 90 degree clockwise, you're gonna change X and Y. So you're gonna swing. So you're gonna flip X and Y and make Y negative. That's how I believe it goes, but I'm going to check my work. Okay, so I'm going to have the 4 points A, B, not B, that's D, G, and W. A was 4, 4. D was, so that's -4. So that should be -4, +3. G is 0, 1. And W is going to be let's see, 0, 5. Sorry, 0, 4. So I'm gonna apply that rule I said. I'm gonna flip X and Y and make the Y negative. So I'm gonna have a new A number, a new D number, a new G number, and a new W number. So I need to, there we go, that's much better. So I'm gonna flip on A 4, 4. But my new A is gonna have both of them negative. Because remember, I flipped them, so it's 4, -4, but I have to make my new X negative. Now for D, it went from 4, 3, so I'm going to 3, comma, -4. But I'm going to make that a -3 because I have to make that, just make the X negative. I should just write in the rules that. So make sure that's right. D, yep. So I'll make sure I change that, make X negative. Same thing for G. I'm going to flip it, so it's going to be 1, 0. I'm going to make that X negative, so it's going to be -1, 0, which it is. And W is going to be 4, 0. I'm going to make it negative. There we go. And just like that, I have done that. I have rotated it 9 degrees counterclockwise. Now, if it was 90 degrees clockwise, you would flip X and Y, but you would make the Y negative. Okay? And that is it for this video. Please, you guys know if you need me, you can book me for tutorials. Always, I am available all the time to help you guys, okay? You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll come back with the third video on Unit 6.